I would say we're rather on the soft side today. This is not going to be a very deep tech talk where you learn something for your toolbox in what you're actually coding in or that you're otherwise professionally using. I think the soft side is also very important, and why not value this format by also shouting something here. The talk is called Mastering the Triple Threat. What this means, I will go into later. Just a disclaimer, this is not a full comprehensive overview of all the research that is there on first impressions. This is just one slice I found, which I had not known, and which I found very interesting. That's also easy to learn, easy to master, I would say. If you hear it, you can immediately implement it and observe if this actually changes how people behave towards you. So this is my short summary slide, me in a nutshell. My core practice is somewhere around product management, agile coaching, and consulting. I actually started my career in a major consultancy where I've spent 6 years until the end of last year, and then decided to be a freelancer. Retrospectively, this is not the best point of time that you could have targeted, but I'm managing quite okay so far. So high hopes are still here. I've worked with about 10 clients, more on the corporate side, I would say. That means in a world where all the tools that are for you allowed to use are Excel, PowerPoint, and Microsoft Word. So I can handle these pretty well. That's why this is also in good old PowerPoint. I'm not really focused on one specific industry, but I have deep knowledge in digital health, financial services, and mechanical engineering. From my background, I'm actually a software engineer who graduated at the Hasso-Plattner Institute near Berlin, but I have not really coded anything in those last 6 years. I've moved more towards the strategic product side as well. And I also have a background in design thinking, which is just next to the Hasso-Plattner Institute. So whenever I hear something about design thinking, that somehow resonates with me. I'm with CodeControl since the beginning of this year. I think that's enough for here. Maybe let's start with a quick impression sharing. If we're talking about the first impression, how long do you think we actually have time to design this moment and until an opinion is formed at the other one's head? Any ideas?
I know it's split second, so.
Okay.
I would say 0 because you make first impression straight at the beginning without talking. It's about your body language and things like that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, cool. This actually already nails it quite well. Where this is coming from, I think last year I've spent some vacation in Helsinki, Finland. I was bored. I was browsing a bookshop while I was having some coffee, and I found this little book here. It's called Captivate by a lady called Vanessa van Edwards. And she calls herself a behavioral investigator who basically conducts research experiments on day-to-day psychology, stuff we can learn and use in our daily lives. So the value proposition for me as a professional, especially when you're a coach, you need to get that first impression right. You need to really define your authority and make people be able to follow your lead somehow. So that's why I found this particularly interesting. It's a bit over-engineered. It's not only about first impressions. That's maybe like 10 pages. There's a lot of other things, for example, how to stand around in a large party circle. And she defines that the sweet spot is somewhere near the bar, and the no-go spots are somewhere near the toilet or near the entrance, because that's where people have other tasks to do, jobs to be done. And that's not where they want to be disturbed or interrupted. So always stand near the bar. Second learning that stuck with it. So the experiment she talks about, that's the one that really struck with me the most. There was an experiment conducted where students, after hearing 6 months of a lecture from their professors, were actually asked to rate these professors. Of course, based on their professional competence, not on their sympathy or anything rather anything else. And that means the students have actually spent 6 months of their time and then made the opinion, okay, Do I like him or do I not like him? Is he good in what he's teaching? Is he an expert in his field? And so on. And interestingly, there was another experiment which showed 10-second video clips of the same professors who were rated, but not to the students who attended the lecture, to complete random strangers, and there was no audio. And then after this 10 seconds, they were also asked to rate the professors somehow on how they feel about them. Not really the professional competence. They did not have any like judgment in that area. So just like their first impression. And then they actually boiled it down to 5 seconds of video clips, not even more than 5 seconds, also no audio. And they boiled it even further down to 2 seconds of video clips. And surprisingly, all this data correlated. So basically what we can learn from that, you have about 2 seconds of your time that might answer the question. It's also split seconds, and it's also the fact that you don't even have to talk. That's also correct. But in those 2 seconds, we form an opinion. It's very difficult to move away from that again. So you can like lecture for another 6 months, but people will not change how they behave towards you. And what this also means, if you screw up the first 2 seconds, it doesn't matter anymore because it's probably already too late. You can't go back to this ever again. But looking at it more positively is that you can also carefully design those 2 seconds and really follow some patterns that seem to be scientifically proven how you can actually improve that. So what happens in these 2 seconds in our brain? Apparently there's still something we have inside our gut that helps us to assess a person, not so much if we like them, but more if this person is a threat to us or not. And that's why this is called the triple threat. There are 3 subconscious questions that our mind struggles with dedicatedly in these 2 seconds. And the 3 questions are friend or foe, winner or loser, and ally or enemy. So friend or foe actually translates into, is this person really a threat to me? Is this someone I need to fight or flight, something that's still in our instincts? We can probably never get rid of this in our lifetimes. Winner or loser translates to, is this person a leader, somebody who's really leading the way, who's setting the stage and so on? Or is he rather a follower who's like not really opinionated, he's just like agreeing to what others are saying? And ally or enemy, this is then like the personal call to action. Would I want to have this person in my team or not? Would I want to make him become one of us? And basically the question friend or foe can be answered as easily as presenting your hands when you're showing yourself to someone. Apparently this works in a way, if you don't see the hands of someone, this is suspicious. This person could be a threat. He could be hiding a knife behind his back. He could be doing whatever. Somehow our mind resonates with that in a negative way. So the best thing you can do is always show your hands, be very active in your body language about that. It all boils down to the hands. I see Logan has already adopted this position. This also works in video conferencing, obviously. I also do that and try to do that very actively. Showing the hands somehow creates a positive mood. Gonzalo also, yes, very nice. And if you have managed that this person does not consider you a threat, the second question is this person a winner or a loser? And there was some research on actually how people who are winning a situation versus people who are losing a situation somehow behave in their body language. And there was also intercultural research about this, and this also all converged to this same pattern what we see here. The more space you occupy, the more you present yourself as a winner. That means you're very self-confident, you're filling the space, you're filling the room, you are not afraid to really step forward. But if on the other hand, you're making yourself small and that expresses kind of some shame that you have. And people would think like, okay, yeah, something's wrong with this person. It's not very inviting, this gesture. So whenever you're walking on a stage or whenever you are somehow meeting a new person, watch that your body language your body is straight, and that also, for example, you put your hands in a position like this. so that you occupy as much space as possible. Also, the legs are torn apart a little bit. When I was doing some workshops before the Corona thing struck us, I was also carefully taking this into action. And I don't know if it was just this position or if it's also the mental state that you're in. When you're first of all mindful about this thing, this is already a good thing, but also maybe it gives you some additional self-confidence, some boost that you know that, okay, if I present myself as a winner, people will consider me a winner. And the third one, ally or enemy, that is always like, as I said, the call to action. Is this person really speaking to me? And apparently this works a lot with eye contact. So if you're making eye contact to that person, and if you're really giving them the feeling you're talking to them, you're talking with them, you're starting a discussion, you're not just lecturing them or something, they feel like, okay, this resonates with me. You can watch some famous TED Talks. There's always, in the better ones, there's often always somebody asking a question to someone random in the audience, and the whole audience somehow resonates with that. They feel like, oh, this person is actually talking to me. So that's also kind of a hack that you can implement. Don't just stand there and talk, maybe ask a question or make somebody feel directed towards it. Like I was doing with Logan. Hey, Logan, nice that you're showing your hands. This creates some interactivity and decreases the boundary between people. And this is basically what I want to share. 5 takeaways. We have 2 seconds until that person develops an opinion for us. We can actually design these 2 seconds by answering the 3 questions: friend or foe, winner or loser, ally or enemy. And all you have to do is show your hands, stand like a winner, make eye contact. That's it.